Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Ryan here. It's Friday night. It's Elimination final night in the Championship Manager Super League Season 8. And it's the first edition of the much anticipated Fifey Chat Swam. I'm delighted to introduce my guest and newly qualified finalist of Season 8, Stephen Fife. How you doing, mate?
I'm very, very well. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm very good, very good. Getting back into the swing of things now. I can see we've got a couple of people in the chat already. Mr. Edwards is there, Duggan's there, Dan Megahorse, Steve Wright. Try and give it a couple of minutes to get a few more people. Do you mean a few more people joining us before we go on? Do you want to talk about your season in general? Obviously, it's been. I mean, it's something. Where did you finish last season?
Third
last season. You finished second in the league this season, only on goal difference behind Dragons. And you feel like the team overall has performed better? Do you feel like you've been as formidable?
No, I think we've been worse this year. Actually, it's been real. It's not even really been up and down. It's been average, poor, and borderline lucky at times. There's no way we should have finished second with our performances. It shows, in one sense, it shows how good the league has been this year in terms of competitiveness. That we were able to stay in it till the end. But it also shows how poor. Like, no one who established themselves as a front runner was able to run away with it like they normally would to an extent. And the fact that we were able to finish in the top two despite our erratic form was a joke. I know everyone will say I had the squad to do so, and quite rightly so, but having the squad to do so and actually doing it is two completely different things. And ultimately to finish joint top and only essentially second on goal difference to a team who last year finished bottom, full credit to Dragons. I've said it many times. But the whole thing was a joke, really, especially on that final day. Any two of four teams being able to finish in the top two, and it was the ones that started first and second ended up finishing third and fourth. And you got to think that there's an element of obviously tactical and players available and stuff like that, and there's just a hell of a good lot of good fortune, because there's no way, as I say, with the form we had over the season, erratic at best, that we should have been finishing second.
No, it's it was a bit of a surprise really. That last day it all went down to the wire, and you kind of said there you've conceded less goals but you've scored 9 less than you did last season, and you managed to finish one position higher up the table, which you could say is a bit of a surprise. It has meant that finishing the top two, that you've had like less games to navigate in the playoffs. Obviously, last season you went out on golden goals to Fulchester. Fulchester this time have gone out on penalties. You've been in the major semi-final, and you managed to do the business in the first leg away at Dragons, despite picking up a litany of injuries and a red card for Thomas Gravison.
Yeah, I mean, we got away with it in the first leg with everything that happened there. I mean, a red card, 3 injuries, coupled with the players that were already missing. It meant going into the second leg we had 8 first-team players missing. We had to name, just to complete the squad, we had to name 2 goalkeepers on the bench. I appreciate we got fortunate that I was able to put out what was a strong 11 for the second leg. Perhaps I know, for example, when Dragons were looking at the absentees, they didn't have Nesta as available, and they also thought Montero might be suspended. So defensively, we were stronger set up than they initially thought we might be. But it was a slight risk, because we've been awful defensively playing 2 centre-back. We've been a lot stronger at the back end of the season when we moved to a 3. Obviously, Kennedy came in for his debut. He didn't perform brilliantly, unfortunately for him. But yeah, we were still able to name a reasonably strong side. I still argue that the attacking midfield three behind Mpenza was as poor a free as anybody would have put out this season. And I think
it's definitely not your usual riches of basically Harry Kewell you sometimes have in there. I know you've had Tristan in there in the past. Robbie Keane's not a bad player.
If you consider that was the formation we played for the most part of last season, and it was Kewell, Olasadabi, and Ronaldinho, Mido, Keane, and Kennedy is certainly not that. I thought, I mean, depending on who you ask, they will have a different opinion. I think I can understand why Dragons went gung-ho because they were losing, but I think they cost themselves the game by not playing necessarily to their strengths.
They had a poor game, didn't they? I mean, that second leg, you've got to say that Dragons team, I mean, you kind of went out, you say this is gung-ho, 5 arrows, 2 of them long. It's similar formation to what Mr. Edwards is playing at Northern Burn.
Yeah, the long Dragons would usually play because they were chasing the goal. But you know, you look at the match stats. I thought we arguably deserved to win the game. Never mind the tie. But I thought they cost themselves the tie the same way. I think Burn cost themselves being in the top 2. And it's those key decisions which come back to bite you sometimes. I mean, when I was watching the second leg, I thought Dragons started well, but we then came back into it, and look, every time there was an attacking phase, it looked to be us. And I thought the fact we're not scoring, I mean, was definitely going to come back and cost us on away goals or something stupid. I mean, Mpenza had, I think that said we had 13 chances, and Mpenza had either 8 or 6 shots himself. And unlike
6 shots, 4 on target, yeah.
I mean, he should be getting at least 1, if not 2 there. But you know, sometimes
you can't lay into Mpenza though. I mean, 17 in 24 games is it's better than anyone else.
Well, I believe he's joint top with Sigalko at the moment. If not, there's 1 in it. In fact, Sigalko's winning. But he hasn't scored probably 3-4 games again, which is what he does. And it's how we manage that. You know, we're going into a final now, and we think, do we think this will be his game, or do we say, you know, now's the time to change? We've got perfect replacements there.
I mean, I mean, not to kind of sway you in any kind, but I mean, if you went into the final and didn't play Mpenza, think of the messages you'd be getting, mate. I'm just going to go back to a couple of messages here. A couple of people picked up on the fact that you're receiving messages again. So
I had one. I've turned Twitter and WhatsApp off. I've had 1 Facebook message turned off as well.
Okay, it's no surprise that it was Duggan who picked up on that. It's a miracle Devils players have anything other than rock bottom morale with their manager being so negative, says Champ Mega Horse. Champ Swan's here, our stat man, absolutely fantastic. Delighted that Fifey Charts Wham is living up to its title here, says Duggan, and Wooder agrees with that, even in Wooder. Yeah, and also for a quick mention at the start of the show here, I mean, obviously we've not got too many viewers, but anyone who watches this back, our regular in-house graphic designer, Mr. Ian Edwards, has been designing some kits for next season, and they're nothing short of spectacular. So if you're not getting an order together, then please do. I think it's s66sportswear.co.uk. I think there's a deal on £30. I think you just need a minimum of 3 to get an order in. This chairman here is definitely going to buy one of them, but it's still up for grabs on which one yet. So maybe even buy 2 or 3. So if anyone thinks their kit's the good one and they need to get an extra one for an order, then I'll definitely put one down.
Maybe to know what's kind of in your top 3 that you've seen.
I like the blue one, the kind of the light blue one. So I like the Churchtown kit, if I'm being honest. I do like the Haggis home kit's nice. I need to try and get the thread up so I can have a look through them. I really like the red, white and blue in the Hulls away kit. I think that's absolutely stunning.
I'm biased, but when it comes to ours, I think Ian's done a brilliant job, because I think our home kit's really, really trim, really smart. But our away kit is outrageous, and I like it just for its sheer for the sheer creativity of it. Whereas the home kit's more simplistic, the away kit's very got a lot of character about it. So I like the mix mash of styles.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the thread up so I can have a quick look. I mean, I'm not going to make great radio this, I'm afraid, so I do apologise. I really like the Bostock kits, actually, both of them, the red and white kind of stripes down the front, the black and gold kit, away kit. I mean, let's be honest, there's lots to choose from. And yeah, it was the Churchdown home kit, I think, is fantastic. And I quite
The kits will look a lot smarter with a star on it as well.
Yeah, at least one of the kits will. I mean, need to get a Phoenix kit back in there. You've got the 2 stars on that one. I feel like we've just been clicking on the Northern Burn squad for a while. Right, so we've had a chat about how you overcome dragons. Let's have a quick chat briefly about the elimination final. We saw Northern Burn basically, I mean, after missing out on the last day of the top 2 spot, they've kind of like, I won't say they've not overly thrilled, but they've been pretty solid. They won the first leg against Locomotive Boston 1-0. They then got beat 3-2 to go through on away goals, and then who can forget that on Wednesday's show, Fulchester lost for the second season in a row to a penalty shootout. But on the balance of things, you can't say that it was anything less than Northern Burn deserved.
No, I completely agree. On the night, I thought Burn deserved it. I did kind of think it's a very Macca way of qualifying, the way that they were playing, particularly from the second half onwards. But you're right, Burn deserved it on the night. I think the way you described it's perfect was perfect. You know, they flattered to deceive throughout the playoff campaign so far. I think they've stuttered their way into the playoffs almost. I know 2 games to go, they were top of the league, and Ian took the decision to rest Gattuso for a game and said they've already qualified. What's the point in risking him? That they then, I think, possibly lost that game. The gap got smaller, brought him back in, he didn't score, and then they dropped out the top 2 entirely. And it's again one of them things where making decisions.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit rich coming from you talking about dropping players and then going into bad form.
I did exactly the same thing last year, and it come back to bite me.
Yeah, I seem to remember. I think it was this game against Sloths where they did it. They got beat 1-0. What? I mean, Ian will tell us in the chat, but I'm pretty sure was Tizalco not fully fit or something like that. I can't remember. I mean, if he was just dropped, then fair enough. I believe
he was on something like 98%, and Ian said, "What's the point in risking him? We've already got the queue."
Fair enough. Tizalco was injured and unfit for the second game. That's what Ian says. So yeah, that was similar to how I remembered it, Fifey. But I mean, I'll take your word for it if you think he was at 98% for one of them. So that got us to tonight. The penalty shootout went from Northern Burn, and in your 2-1 aggregate victory over Dragons mean that this preliminary final at the Dragons against Northern Burn. Let's have a quick look at how these two have done against each other in the past. Against Northern Burn. Why? Dragons got a slight advantage there of the 4 games. They've won 2 and drawn 1. Whereas, I mean, the opposite there for Northern Burn, they've lost 2 and drawn 1. The most recent game was a 2-0 Dragons win with Ifini Udezi getting sent off for Northern Burn and Archie back. Oh, shall I have a go at pronouncing his name? Is it? Oh God, Ardius Bulk, something like that. Anyway, he got the goal and Zay Elias got the second. Where do you stand on tonight? Do you think that the home side have got the edge, even though Northern Burn have kind of won the way through, and Dragons got beat by yourself?
This is tough because you would suggest Dragons had the advantage because they were at home. However, you would also argue pound for pound, Burn were possibly the stronger team, particularly in attack, which I know the Dragons have argued is their weak point. I still refute that, but that's long-standing.
Surely you can't. I mean, it's not. I mean, they've got Batistuta in the reserves. They kind of drawn a line under him. I mean, Alan Smith's played maybe four appearances this season for Northern Burn. He'd be starting, wouldn't he, for Dragons?
It's one of those impossible to say questions, because would he? You know, they're a law unto themselves. They do what they like. They're a rebel without a cause. If they had Smith, they probably wouldn't play him. But what we've got here is two slight clashes of styles, but also they're similar in certain ways. I mean, you look at Sigalko, you look at Mpenza, you've got the top two goal scorers there. You've got Dragons, on the other hand, who have more of a partnership. Constantino, I think, is on 9 or 10, Backs on about 12. So whereas I've got one goal scorer, for example, they've got two. They can share the goals about a bit more. Baumer's been on fire this year, and if we look at Bern, again, Del Piero, Henry, it's not all about Scalco. They have goals coming from that free as a triangle, which has been impressive. I think it was Gattuso got a 10 in the game against Colchester, so he's in good form going into this. Robin being central, I know people have asked questions, is that his best position? But I think Ian's one of these who he really trusts his players, particularly his starting 11, and I have a lot of respect for that. And while it's largely been working, he's not one to really tinker with it and change it.
Yeah. I completely get that. He is missing players this time around. Just to give you something from the chat there, I mean, the Dragons lad saying that Del Piero, Henry, Tizalco, Smith, whoever they had, they will be starting above Constantino. So they're kind of saying, I think the word wham has been said a few times in the chat, just to don't want to kind of cloud you to the comments coming your way.
That's absolutely fine. It's like, I will repeat the word rhetoric. You know, I'm one for creating a storyline. I like a storyline. You know that. When you were a manager, I was doing blogs. I like to create a storyline about your team. They've created this fictional storyline about the Dragons, this mythical, look what we've done with absolutely no class. And it's a load of bollocks. They know it is, but they're going to stick to their story the same as I'm sticking to my, we've got shitloads of players injured, there's absolutely no reason we should have beat Dragons.
Fair enough. Right, so let's have a quick mention of Northern Burn. I mean, they're asking for comparison between players. I'm not going to get into that now. But, because, I mean, we've got a game to come. I mean, I will mention that the first choice defence midfielders in Gattuso and Gerard are both injured and out for the season, which is going to be a huge miss. Walter Samuel, absolutely monster in the game. However, arguably less of a miss because Udesi's been filling in for whoever's been injured throughout the season. He's obviously done well in the Super League. But he's not the same level as Samuel or Cannavaro, is he? So, how much?
No, but he's a good player with proven Super League pedigree. So that's certainly in Ian's favour.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got to think that the three players who would drop out are Stanic, Petkov, Udesi. If those three were fit, but it's still, I kind of agree with you there, it's still a world-class 11.
The thing, I mean, I look at it and I think, I mean, I've not seen the Dragons team pop up yet. I purposely didn't look at the tweets in case it wasn't exactly to that. I would say Bern traditionally looks stronger in attack and arguably stronger in the actual defence, but midfield, Dragons are a lot stronger. And with that in mind, I mean, I can see there you've just brought up that Zayala is suspended, but Davids is a monster at times. I'm surprised Carrick doesn't potentially play a bit more, but I know he's there for cover, and I know he's still quite young. But yeah, I think if Dragons in the midfield, what do you say? Sorry,
I think he's shit as well in the game, Michael Carrick. I never had any joy out of him.
If Dragons can win the midfield battle, they stand a really good chance. I know they were spitting feathers at was it Nicolau, who missed a double chance at the end of the game against me the other night.
He did indeed.
Interesting, Constantino doesn't even play, which is a bit harsh, I think.
Just to give some context to this, I think tonight Wooder is at the wheel. I think they definitely they gave, I think Duggan and kind of Hopkins had their chance in the two legs against you. It didn't work out, so I think Wooder's kind of grabbed the wheel. and said, "This is what we're doing." It's a brave decision. He's brought Paul Bosvelt back into the centre midfield. With Zaylias missing out, he's decided, guess what? I'm going to go with two DMs then, and he's gone with Davids and Said. And the interesting one, I mean, I kind of said his name a couple of times on the Wednesday show, Andres D'Alessandro, a player that I love on a home save and has not done it at all by any stretch of the imagination in the Super League so far. He picked up 3 goals last season, but really, really poor average rating. 7 appearances and has been terrible this season. He gets a start tonight. The top goal scorer, Archie Backer, I think probably 10 of those 11 goals he scored have been in AMC. He goes up top. So I mean, they've shifted it about, and obviously Holofko's had to come back in at the back, which is a weak point because they've got Taribo West and Ronnie Johnson injured. I mean, would you suggest? I mean, now that you're looking at that midfield, D'Alessandro, Bosvelt, Said, are they so much better in midfield?
It's certainly not their strongest midfield they've had this season. Now I've seen it, I'm less confident in them. For example, I'm surprised if they've gone with this decision. For me personally, I would have looked to having Emerton in defensive mid and keeping Davids in centre mid, where he's performed so well all season.
I think I'd agree with you there, mate. Definitely.
I'm also surprised when they've stuck with Constantinou all season that they picked this game to bring him out. However, what I will say, and he will want it saying quietly, is despite all the mockery and the piss taking that goes on between all of us, Wooder does have an element of class about him as well, so I wouldn't begrudge him the victory.
Bosvelt is going to dominate tonight, quote Jay Wooder. Interesting that you noticed it. A couple of things I've noticed, blah blah blah. So I'm just trying to pick up. Tate Marina saying that he has a theory that Dragons struggle against 2 or more centre midfielders. It's why he picked 3 against them and they didn't have a shot on target. Tate Marina, a couple of us have done it since, and I think they found it tough. We shall see tonight. Duggan says, so that's something that the Dragons themselves are aware of. He says, you're right, Terto, massive issue for us. Constantino, very low morale. I had to highlight over that. That's what Wooder's picked out there. One thing I'm surprised at, if Wooder is in charge, because I know I may have this wrong, but I'm fairly confident he was the one that pushed for the signing of Juninho. So I'm surprised he's not involved if Wooder's in charge. I could have picked out the wrong one, but I'm sure it was him that was the one that was pushing for him to be signed. Interesting indeed. Right. We have chatted wham for now 24 minutes. I'm going to say all the best to both teams, the Dragons and to Ian. Honestly, may the best side win. I think you're absolutely fantastic. The lot of you done really well. I want to ask for a couple of predictions, and knowing that we've got 11 people in here now, so people have tuned in for this. Dimble's just arrived. Everyone's here for the wham.
Just before I give my prediction, I just want to say, for the Super League purists out there, for those that have been on the journey for a while, how incredible this is when you think of where Devils were and they're in the final. When you think of Jamie going from football monologue and then Dragons, when you think of Ian, what he went through with BTEC and now Northern Burn, to see that one of those two are also going to be in this is the epitome of what the Super League can do. And we were chatting on WhatsApp earlier, me and like Duggan and Steve and that. We were saying how lockdown has really improved a lot of people's ability on CM0102. And I think the fact that it's between me and these two for the final proves that.
Yeah, completely agree. And it really shows how competitive this league is, that a team can go from 14th to first. I mean, these are two teams that were outside the top 6 last season. Yeah, there are some ties that are stronger, but definitely I think everyone has got an opportunity to get up there.
Good luck.
Evening over Champino, who just joined us, Evening Dimble as well. Hopkins is a myth. That's quote Lee Dimble. Extra time 1-1 after 90 says Mega Horse. Dragons by 3 says Wooder. A couple of 1-1s in there. Scott Sadler has joined us and has said 1-0. Evening, Scott. Let's do this, shall we? I'll try.
Out of the teams, I'm going to say Burn win in 90 minutes by 2 goals.
Wow. Right.
Sorry, Drag.
Let's kick this off. Dimble going 2-2. Burn on Pens. We're 5 minutes in. It's like Burn are going to have the first opportunity. Henri puts it in the box, but Lucio gets it away. Contra to Stanic moving the ball forward. Nutbacks Paul Bosvelt, and Paul Bosvelt gives away the free kick. Del Piero takes the free kick. Zalco knocks it down, but the Dragons pick up the ball. 10 minutes gone. Zeri's going down the right hand side and goes past Cannavaro, or does he? No, he doesn't. Looks like they've kept all the possession though, and Joe Cole has an early effort for the Dragons and an early goal for the Dragons. That is exactly the kind of start that they were after. Good work down the right hand side by D'Alessandro, it looks like, but here comes Del Piero from Northern Burn, and Davids has given away the free kick. Del Piero to Zalco above Udeze, but the Dragons have picked up the ball. Robin gathers it, heads the ball upfield. Bosvok, and George Atos takes control on the left hand side to Zalco. Looks like David's films Cizalco, and Del Piero gets a free kick. Quite a few free kicks already. Cizalco heads the ball down, and Khan gets down to save. 15 minutes
it looks
gone.
like Dragons set up to counter because there's a lot of attacking from Burn early on.
It is, but I mean, they've only had one effort, and that's gone in so far. D'Alessandro involved again there, and also was Willie Baumer. Baumer again, free kick just outside the area, puts it in. Archie back with the header. And Toldo saves this time, and Henri picks it up and scrambles it away.
Toldo's been good this year, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been up and down. A couple of bad games, I think Ian would say, but yeah, he's been a very, very solid keeper. And it looks like Archie back has an effort there, and Toldo pushes it away. Looks like the Dragons starting to build a bit of momentum now. Lucio to Davids, D'Alessandro involved, down to Archie back, who's robbed by Cannavaro, but Bosvelt picks it up. Robin searches out to Zalco, maybe on the counter. No, not happening there. 25 minutes gone. Robin picks the ball up for Northern Burn to Zalco, to Del Piero. Weighted pass. Cizalco gets the ball in the box, has a dip. Ollie Khan saves, but it's fell to Cizalco, and that's an equaliser. Maxim Cizalco trying to put his name on the golden boot and keep his side in the mix here. It's 1 apiece after 27 minutes. Both teams scoring in the first half is what we'd like to see. Archie back, trying to get a bite right back though for the Dragons. Flies on his left foot, but Toldo saves. Lucio's picked up the rebound. What Lucio's doing up there, I'm not too sure. But there he was. Toldo smothers the ball and hits it forward. Cannavaro, Petco for that defensive midfielder for Northern Burn. In for the injured Gattuso and Gerard. It's a goal kick to the Dragons though. Ibrahim Said picks it up and progresses down the left hand side. Joe Cole involved, and he's won a free kick. D'Alessandro's going to take it. Zeri beats Holovko. Petkov wins the ball though for Northern Burn. I hope everyone's enjoying my commentary and the doing in the kind of nails on chalk medium commentary speed. I apologise, it's not as entertaining as you know. I feel like I'm slurring my words trying to keep up with it.
It's nice to be able to enjoy a game without feeling stressed and anxious about it.
Yeah, but just think about the two lads. George Atos had a great opportunity there. Looks like Oliver Kahn's done his job. Another keeper much improved this season. Looks like Northern Burn are going to finish this half on the front foot. Cizalco headed Zeri, Robin over the bar from distance. It's a Dragons goal kick. Cizalco picks it up early though, but it's pushed by Lucio, and it's a free kick. Del Piero looks like he's going to take it, has a go, and the wall deflects the shot. There's so many free kicks in this game so far. Looks like we're going to get to half time here.
We learnt in our tie that they've become the Dirty Dragons at the end of the season.
Yeah. It's pretty even first half, isn't it? Northern Burn had more efforts, but both had 4 on target. Not as many free kicks as I thought, actually, just the 6 each. Yeah, nothing too much in the stats. Action zone suggests that Dragons have had the ball, but it's been in their own area. Northern Burn have been on the attack more. Yep, as I kind of suggested, Andres D'Alessandro putting a low cross to the near post, and Joe Cole got free, so those attacking midfielders combining to put Dragons ahead. And then the equaliser, Cannavaro had the ball upfield, Tizalco gets the shot away, Khan saves it, but it goes straight to Tizalco who put away the rebound. Would have think Tizalco, man, fuck off. Champ Magahorst loving the comms. Oh, that's something I've never heard before, mate. I'm going to click on Northern Burn first. Solid first half performance, Fifey.
Yeah, I was a bit concerned for them. I mentioned sort of in the first 15 minutes or so that despite being one down, they were largely on top. And when they didn't score, Dragons then started taking the advantage while having the lead. But they came back into it, showed their bottle with that, and like you say, they had more chances and largely impressive first half overall.
Yeah, it was a good first half. I felt from both sides. None let themselves down. Todo, as we kind of suggested, getting the 8 there. Done a couple of key tackles. I think that might mean saves when it comes to goalkeepers. Contra involved a lot on the right hand side, and Tizalco getting shots away exactly as Ian would want. Ian's going as is, and not going with Lucas Neal, which may be a little bit of a surprise.
I was just going to say, sorry, briefly, that the only thing that I would maybe be slightly, with the way he's set up, is like your Gattuso and are not really doing much in the way of passes when they're in key influential areas of the pitch.
Yeah, but I don't know. Who's he got on the bench? And I don't think you're changing it.
Oh, no, I'm not suggesting change it. I'm just saying that would be an area of concern or frustration.
A quick look at the Dragons then, Fifey. Apart from Luciano Zeri, it's been relatively solid. Just noticed that Paul Bosvelt's on 85% fitness.
I thought Dragons, after they took the lead, I would argue against the run of play, but I thought they were largely impressive. They seemed resolute despite the fact Byrne appeared to have more attacking threat. They had a period of dominance themselves. Again, they didn't make it count, but this is still anyone's tie, as you alluded to. It's very even, and it's very difficult to call.
It is indeed. I'm just going to catch my breath. The substitution there was Mark Kerr coming on for Paul Bosvelt, as instructed by Jay Wooder1 in the chat, and we're going to kick off this second half and see who's going to get into the final. Obviously 1-1 will mean extra time.
I could be wrong, but I don't feel like Kerr's featured that much this season.
Yeah, I get told off for clicking on players in gameplay, so I'm not going to do that. Iron Robin had a chance early on there. Oliver Kahn saves down low. Contra Henri from long range, but goes horribly wide. Kahn kicking the ball out, but Tizalco's picked it up to Del Piero far across the left post, and it looks like Oliver Kahn again coming to Dragon's saviour. Zori along the floor. Mark Kerr forced to retreat and chips the ball to Baumer, brings it forward. Such Archie back, who brings the ball forward, and Cannavaro barges in. Archie backs back and gives away the free kick. He only gets a warning though, and there was a shot away there saved by Toldo. Tizalco just outside the area. Contra finds Stanic, and that's cleared away. Tizalco picks up the loose ball, finds Del Piero. Del Piero again from a tight angle. Lucio deflects the shot, and then he chips one into the area, but nothing seemed to happen there. 56 minutes gone. Zeri comes forward for the Dragons, finds D'Alessandro, finds Kerr, finds Joe Cole, and this time Francesco Toldo pulls off the save. Both keepers seem to be having solid games.
I think we got the best two keepers this season playing in this game.
Yeah, we have Lucio Header there as well. Looks like both teams are having chances. I keep thinking there's going to be a goal. It's not been. Just over half an hour regulation time to play. D'Alessandro flicks the ball on. Henri clears. Del Piero. Every time I see Del Piero or Tizalco, I'm thinking they're a threat. Toldo, man. Baumer comes forward. Contra can't stop Baumer going past him. Archie back header saved by Francesco Toldo. Petkov. You can feel like Northern Burn maybe on the back foot at the moment. Zori has it this time for Dragons. Mark Kerr picks it up, bends it towards goal, but it scoops it right over. Yeah, the referee is extremely lenient, it seems, Mr. Megahorse.
I think that we would have had 2 or 3 red cards by now with this amount of fouling.
Yeah, Chris Blaine But he has pulled out a yellow card here
Hey!
for Ifeanyi Udeze. Commentators kiss of death. Cannavaro picks out Contra, but it's once again turned over to the Dragons, and Joe Cole, Zori, Joe Cole again, pushed by Robin, who picks up another yellow card. This referee's quite harsh, dishing out the yellow cards. Bowman with the free kick takes on Contra, Cole into the box, takes on Udeze, Joe Cole, already got one today. Bowman header, and that is a goal for the Dragon Destroyers. 15 minutes of regulation time, and Willie Bowman, not going to click on him again, but we go into 7 minutes of normal time left. Northern Burn not got long to bite back. Dragons looking comfortable. Zori takes on Cannavaro, pushed by Cannavaro. D'Alessandro free kick. Northern Burn hold on to the ball. Northern Burn need to attack though. Del Piero, Zori again, he seems to have been everywhere this evening. Brings the ball forward. Robin in hot pursuit, but Zeri goes far. D'Alessandro top corner, high and wide. We're going into added on time here. Northern Burn, it's now and ever. I'm afraid it's never. For this season's attempt from Northern Burn, a really, really, really tight game there. Congratulations to the Dragons 3 Dicks, and commiserations to an absolute legend in Ian Edwards. Just a step too far this season. I'm sure he'll be back next season. Goals from Joe Cole and Willie Bowman, cancelling out the reply from Maxim Cizalco. That was a tight game, Fifey.
It was tight, but stats there suggest that Dragons deserve the victory. So fair play is much more solid and creative second half performance by them. As you said, I was seeing names like Del Piero and Henri seemingly getting the ball a lot, but and thinking they could do something, but they clearly weren't in an advanced position as Ian would have liked at the time. So, but no, the top two go at it one last time.
Yeah, it means that the curse of the third to 16. It means that, yeah, per those of you who've been following the Super League for a while, no team outside the top two has ever won the Super League. That's going to continue into season 9. I'm sure it will happen one time. It just so happens that quite a lot of the times the teams in the top two get the home advantage. It's why it's so vital to finish up there. Yeah, it was a great match, and I'll echo what Megahorse just said in the chat there. Great match, unlucky Ian, but well done to Dragons. Ian, as always, fantastic gentleman, saying congratulations to Dragons. It was a very strong second half, and good luck into the final. I hope you smash that one bastard, Fifey. That's very un-Ian Edwards, but there we are.
But no, on a serious note, obviously commiserations to Ian. It would have been nice for a legend such as himself to make the final, and as you say, I'm sure he will most certainly be back and looking to go at least one step further next year. But huge congratulations to the Dragons. As I say, they seemingly deserved it. Balmer, who we highlighted at the start as one of the players to watch in this game, he's come up with a winner, and now we can see the story unfolding before us of what's going to happen on Sunday.
Yeah, just a quick look at Northern Burn. I mean, no one really let them. I feel like Francesco Toldo had a really good game. A little bit harsh to go on the losing side there. Cosmin Contra played well. Yeah, the only one who scored less than 7 was Udeze, who arguably is not a starter. Looks like that Stanek had picked up a knock somewhere. I didn't see that in the chat, in the commentary. Let's flick over.
I don't think when you look at those stats, Ian will be too upset in the individual performances. I just think it wasn't his night, unfortunately for him. They played relatively well. And then you look at the stats here, and there's just individual players for Dragons have got higher ratings. Again, linking into the overall stats, suggesting that on the whole they deserve the victory tonight.
Yeah, Luciano Zeri and Wilfred Bowman involved a lot. Obviously, Bowman got the winner. Lucio solid at the back. Ibrahim Said had a solid game. D'Alessandro only picked up a 7. I thought he played pretty well from the commentary and got the assist. Joe Cole got the second assist, so a goal and an assist from him. That deal from Bostock looking like a good one. Yeah. Well, let's continue then and see where we get up to. And Steve Wright will be gutted to see that Gustavo Lopez is injured. Let's go to one of the teams that are in the final. And Dragons are through to the grand final with a 2-0 win over Northern Vale and Lonely Mountain. Pardon?
Apparently it was a derby.
Yeah, some teams have got rivalries. Let's have a quick look at the fiction. No, I have to click continue again. Ugh, don't worry about that. Right, let's have a quick look around here. What do we want to know? Anything that we want to look at before we call on tonight? Obviously, it's Hopkins and his merry men against Fifey, the Super League final no one ever expected. It's going to be.
For me, obviously, as I alluded to, I'm absolutely delighted that we've made it. You would argue that the top two playing each other in the final deserve to be there. I think the manner of Dragons' win tonight will hopefully put to bed some of the rhetoric that they put out about the limitations of their squad. They've got there because they deserve to be there, and it should be a good game. And obviously, because I haven't had a game in this round. I haven't seen anything of my team since the second leg, so I don't know who is or isn't back from injury particularly. I'm hoping that we might have maybe 4 of the 8 back available.
Obviously, there's 7 days to go between now and the game. But do you want a quick preview of what the Devil squad looking like?
No,
okay.
I don't, because then they'll see it.
Okay.
It's going to be all about mind games now, because Duggan's going to be texting me every day. Well, I say every day, the final Sunday, isn't it? He's going to be texting me like on the hour, every hour, sending me something about how good my squad is compared to theirs, and how it'll be an insult to my team if we don't win it, and trying to pile the pressure on. And I'll be saying, look, we've not lost the game to Dragons, so it's going to change sometime. And it'll be all about mind games. They'll tell me a team that isn't actually the team they've put out to try and trick me into doing something different. So it's just about basically turning WhatsApp off for the next 48 hours and focusing purely on what the Devils are going to do. I went into tonight with an idea of what I might do if it was Dragons and what I might do if it was Burns. So now it's wait for the pack to come out and see if we can implement that idea against the Dragons.
Indeed. Duggan mentioned that you've just seen their squad then, so yeah. Like I said, to the Dragon, there's a week to go before game time. I didn't click on any individual players, so we don't know who's available and who's not. So I hope everyone's enjoyed tonight. Again, congratulations.
Something when I was looking at this, which surprises me, considering Dragons finished top and they're in the final, they don't have any players that I can see there, unless I'm missing one, in the top however many, like 20th is their highest average rating.
Yeah, it looks like that. Oliver Kahn coming in at 20th.
That surprises me slightly.
It is what it is. I mean, it's all about team performance, isn't it?
Surprised me a little bit, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, Asani NDI has been absolutely storming it for Hulls, but Hulls have been shocking. I think I'd definitely rather have the Dragon season than the Hulls season. That's the truth of it. Right, well, thanks a lot to everyone. Anyone who didn't put Contra in their Team of the Year is wrong, Mr. Ian Edwards there. Thank you very much for everyone joining us. I won't see you tomorrow, but I shall see you on Sunday for the final. Be there or don't, but you should be there. Great, thanks a lot for the well wishes, lads, and I shall see you all soon.
Thanks, see ya.